Well, welcome. It is Friday, and we made it through another week, Pete. Here we are. We're coming into a holiday weekend here in the U.S. And what better way to go into a weekend though than to talk Comm? And Pete, you apparently it's not just enough for you to like go through each brand or each type, but you want to do it all on the same day. There is no challenge too large, too small.
My fantasy job is to do a job with a Riedel Director system, artist system running, also an Atom system and a Clear-Com system, all tied together on one giant job. That would be perfect.
Well, actually that day is coming for you. I am confident of that.
Yeah, yeah,
Um, and it just this is an interesting topic. When you brought the idea up, I'm like, well, what do you mean you're going to do the digital intercom programming? Didn't we do like we've already done like 5 sessions on that? And then you in your typical fashion go, no, 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 no. We're going to do it with all three same ideas, right? Build a 4-wire port on
yep,
this platform, this platform, this platform. Do
yep.
this on this platform, this platform, this platform. So I think that's really cool. I see a few more people are just joining us now. So this one you had a little subliminal message in the slide at the beginning. So folks, this is a Stump Pete day. Wherever you can, always gives us a good reason to come back and follow up. But I think this will be kind of Pete. What are you thinking for Q&A? Because this one's a little different. We're doing multiple topics across multiple platforms.
Yeah.
So how are you feeling today about the Q&A time? How do you want to do that?
I'm going to keep an eye on the questions as they come in, and if they're obviously germane at that second, I will answer them. But I've got this divided into 12 different sections, this little presentation. So I'll be able to sort of stop in between sections and answer things. So we'll go as it goes,
Right.
whatever.
So
You know.
I will as I'll play one little quick part of Mac, and that is to say be specific, even more so today, because if your question is around RTS, Clear-Com, or around
Adam.
specific Atom, right? So RTS, Clear-Com, Riedel, all right, just be specific on that particular platform. Um,
Exactly.
question around that. I think that's the only thing I would say to folks, and we'll try and figure out how to do. We'll read the shorthand, I'm sure. So I will shut up now, and Pete, let you take us from here.
Thanks a lot, Kelly. I've always everybody knows I love doing Intercom, and these three different companies, Atom, RTS Atom, Clear-Com with EHX, and Riedel with Artist with Director, have basically the same system, but they have software that operates in a totally separate way. And I thought it'd be a great idea if we could sort of compare some of the main processes in setting these programs up side by side. So let's start here. This is the RTS Atom software, and this is the main screen you come on to. If I go to port 1 here, there's the director I set up already. So here and down on the bottom are all these different things you can do by setting setting the alphas, the ports, etc. So here's the director port. I already named some of these in here. And if you want to actually log on to this software, you go in here. This is going to give me a message saying this has already been programmed for a truck called LY11. And if I click one more, I can see the actual IP that I used for that truck. So I'm going to go in here, and that's how we connect to the Atom software. Let's look at the next different type, Riedel. The Riedel software is totally different look. All of this stuff here represents those icons at the bottom of the screen in the Atom software. And if I go up here to settings, to the address of the local node, that's where I would enter the address that I would use to log on to the local piece of hardware from my computer. So the third different type of connection would be Clear-Com. So here's a blank Clear-Com program. I'm going to right click and I'm going to add a matrix. I'm going to set it to be matrix type Delta frame, which is a 4-port frame. It's going to want to know if I want an extra CPU card. And I'm going to right on the front here is the IP of the matrix that I would use to log onto it. And this is the hardware section where we'd be controlling setting up all the cards, and the configuration section where we set up all the panels and party lines. So let's go in and set up some cards on these three systems. Let's start with this system right here. Go into cards and ports. I'm going to, there's 4 places I can put cards. So I'm going to right click, set a card type to an MVX A16, which is a 16-port card, which can take analog in and out and or panels. So I'm going to put a director panel right on the top here, and actually put a director panel, which can be a desktop rotary, and we're going to call it director. And then we're going to put some 4 wires on the bottom here. We're going to put a direct, and we're going to do a truck cam, and we're going to do another direct. Direct is what is you set it for doing 4-wire. We're going to be a truck A2, and then we're going to have wireless versions of the same thing. A wireless cam, W cam, and we're going to have a wireless A2 as well, WA2 channel, like on a free speak or even a BTR. Now we're going to also set up a couple of camera connections for the cameras. So I'm going to do a direct here, and I'm going to do a camera 1, and I'm going to do another direct, and I'm going to do a camera 2, and then I'm going to have a transmitter connection to an IFB, and let's do a direct. I'm going to split that 4-wire thing, 4-wire port, into 2 things, and has red and green. Red is output, so it's out, in, out, in. So this is going to feed the transmitter. I'm going to preface it with a period, which you'll see in a minute why I do that. The period TX1, that'll be for IFB1. And so we've got those set up. So let's, on the second card, let's put an IBC32, which is going to be on the network. So here's where we enter the network IP to get to it. And I'm going to put on this network the desktop rotary panel with 2 extra audio channels for the A2. So he's on the network. It's going to be called A2 on his panel there. And then this is going to be a local program for a speaker that comes out of his panel there. And then the last card I'm going to put on here is a Dante card, 64 port Dante card. And right away, you can see that this Clear-Com system has 64 ports plus 32 plus 16, whereas the Riedel system had 32 ports total. So it's much, much more powerful here. Now in this Dante card, we're going to start out by doing a direct and splitting it also. And this output port is going to be a listen cam, and that's going to feed out into an IFB system for the cameras. And this it's actually going to go into the console. All of these Dantes are going to the console, and this one is going to be the program. So that's an input from the console. Here I'm going to do another direct, and I'm going to split it again. And I'm going to have a mix minus dot mx minus comes the mix minus is going to be coming out of the console into the intercom system. So it goes into an intercom, into an in. And here on this side here, split it again. And we're going to have a listen, a pre-fader listen, PFL, which is going to go into the intercom system and show up in the IFB. So here we've done our Dante, we've done our IVC32, we've done a bunch of 4 wires and the panel. Okay, so that's for the Clear-Com system. Let's save this here, and we'll go on to Riedel. So here's a Riedel system, blank panel. All these icons to do things like connect to the network and IFB and check out the cross point and connect to the frame and that kind of stuff. But here's a blank thing. I'm going to take a 32 port matrix and stick it on there. And if I open this up, you'll see node number 1 is right there. I can double click here, or I can double click on here and open it up. So here's where I would enter the cards in the Riedel system. So I'm going to put a couple of CPU cards in first. The other systems assume you have a CPU. I'm going to put a couple of power supply cards in there. Same in the other systems, they assume it. Here, we'll first put a coax panel in for panels. We're going to put an analog panel in for 4 wires and another analog panel for some 2 wires. And then the last one is going to be a Dante. So here we've got this. I'm going to put a panel up here in the coax area, a DCP desktop panel 1016, and I'm going to name this going to be director, right? And down here I'm going to put another panel, a DCP 1016, and that's going to be the A2 panel, and the A2 is out in the sun. The difference between the difference between the 1016 and 1116 is the 1016 has LEDs that can be seen in direct sunlight. So both of these, it's a daytime show with a lot of light out there, even where the director is. I wanted to make sure it's plenty bright. So on these 4-wire panels, we'll just put a bunch of 4 wires in here. And a couple of splits down here. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to name these here. This is going to be the truck cam, just like in the other system. This one here is going to be the truck A2, right? Then we're going to have a wireless cam. and then we're going to have a wireless A2, right? And then we're going to have a 2-wire CAM interface that goes to a hybrid to change it to 2-wire. And this one here is going to be a 2-wire audio, same thing. And then we're going to have the 2 wireless here. Here we're going to have a WCAM. Okay, we already did a WCAM and the W2, so we got the truck. Oh, right, we're going to put 2 cameras. So this is going to be cam 1 connected by 4-wire, and this one here is going to be cam 2. There we go, the 2 cameras. So then also down here, we're going to connect some the ports for some of our IFBs. The first one here, the in is not going to be used for something. We're just going to in spare. The out is going to go to the transmitter, TX1. That's going to be the out. And then down here in Dante, where we can connect to the console, we're going to do that same split thing. So the in is going to be a MX minus, mix minus into the intercom system. And the second one here is going to be a LSN, a listen channel to the pre-fader. Okay, so we're going to call it pre-fade. Okay, so here's for our IFBs, there's a transmit, the mix minus feeds there, and the pre. So we got stuff here for our Dante. So these are the ports for our Riedel system. And if I go into the port screen, all of the long names show here, but these are the 8 character names. The only ones we really care about are the director wants to have its own name, and the audio is not going to be A2, it's going to be A1, and it's going to be audio, just like that. Because the audio and the director are actually going to show up on panels. We'll also have the program feed, which is going to come out Dante down here. So Dante is going to be an output. So we're going to have it come out over here. So we'll have the program come out. Actually, no, it's not coming out of the intercom system. It's going into the intercom system. So here's another split feed, Dante in coming from the console. So there's going to be program just like that coming in from the console into the intercom system. So here's our program, and then over here program it's gonna show up on panels too. So I'm gonna put this, label the key, so we put that on a panel, it shows up. So here's all our keys done for that. Let's go back to the other 2 EHX, back to the analog here. Let's go to the Dante and add that program feed here. It's going to be, program feed is going to be an input, just like the PFL. So here's a direct, split the in is, oh, actually we already did the program. There's the program feed there. So we did program, and what was the other one we needed to do? Program AZ edit down in the Omnio section. We also did a program 1 there, calling it program 1. Okay, so we did those. We've labeled the ports, we've selected the hardware. Now we're going to label PL and the IFBs. So we're going to start here. And when we do the alphas, this shows all of the different channels in the system. But if we do this little arrow on the side of the alphas, now we can label the names for the party lines and the IFBs. So the party lines are going to be cameras and A2. Those are the two party lines we're going to do. And in the IFBs, we're going to do a host. Okay, so let's go into the PL. And usually what I do in the Atom is, because I'm sucking this program out of an existing system and I'm reprogramming it, I want to clear out everything that's in there. And what they do is here in the, you select the PL and these are all the ports that are in it. And there'll be either a talker or a listener to this party line. So what I'm going to do is select all and say not a PL, not a listener. That will have cleared out everything that's in there. And now I'm just going to go through this list right here, and I'm going to find all of the ones that want to be audio, and I'm going to hold down my control key. So here is an audio one there. There's an audio one there. So we have our truck audio and our wireless audio. And now we need a 2-wire audio, which will be down further. Here's a 2-wire audio right here. So we have those three. We're going to make them talker and listeners. Now we're going to go to the cams, and we'll do the same thing. Here's a cam, and the rest of the cams are up top here. We're going to take this cam, this cam, this cam, and this cam, and the cam listen way down here on the bottom in Omnio, listen cam here, and we're going to make them PL talker and listener, but this particular one is only a listener. It's not a talker. So this channel is only listening to the camera. Okay? So we're going to save that. Now, that is the party lines we've done. Let's do the party line in the next system, which is Clear-Com. So here's, we're going to go into the party lines. And what you do here is we're going to say new, and we're going to create a party line. And that's going to be called cams. And we're going to call it cams over here. And then we're going to do a new one here and call this audio A2. 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 So in Clear-Com, you start with the party line, and then you add all the different ports that are going to be part of that party line. So this is the cameras here. So here's, I'm going to double click on this camera 2, and it puts it over on the right, takes it out of here. So camera 1, wireless cam, truck cam. So we've got the truck cam, the wireless cam, the 2 cameras, and we need the camera listen. At camera listen here. So this one right here, I'm going to right click and make it only a listen. Then I'm going to go into the A2 PL, and it's going to get the wireless A2, not the desktop rotary, just interfaces I want, truck A2, and I think that's all that audio gets, those 2 right there. So now I've got my IFB set up for Clear-Com. Now in Riedel, the IFBs are up on this panel on the top here, separate little thing. So I'm going to make an IFB, and I'm going to host IFB. It's a long name, and the key name is just host. And the mix minus is going now, because I named them starting with a period, they show up at the top of the list, my IFB one. So there's a mix minus there. The output is going to be the TX, and the listen is going to be the pre-fader right there. So that helps me find my IFB by labeling them beginning with a period. So I close that, and then the party lines are done exactly the opposite. We go to the ports and we associate a party line with them. So here is the first port, 2-wire audio. And the ports have 3 audio connections, always, Vox, and on call. So always, when I put something in here, it connects to it all the time. And when I put something into Vox, it only connects to it when there's audio on it. And the important thing with that in Riedel is, if you look in the limits up here, 20 active audio sources per destination. That means each destination can only listen to 20 things at a time. Well, if you put everything in always, they'd always be on all the time. And you had a 32 port panel, or even a 16 with 2 pages, you'd have more than 20 possible sources into your panel, which then it wouldn't work. 20 audio number 21 just wouldn't go through. So in other words, as much as possible, you want to make your connections to the Vox input to this port. This is the output from the port. So this is audio. So I'm going to go up here to conferences, and in the conferences, I'm going to add a conference. I'm going to call it CAMS. And I'm going to go here. I'm going to call it CAMS. Then I'm going to add a conference, going to call it audio, or A2. Now, since this is audio right here, I'm going to take the A2 and just drag it into Vox. That's done. It's programmed. If I hover over it, you see this is the conference A2 is in there. So next one I'm going to find is the camera. I'm going to drag the camera one in here. Next one down is going to be the audio panel. I don't need to worry about camera. I'm going to put a camera one in here. Camera 2, I'm going to put another camera in here. Camera party line going to be on that camera. Then it's spare program TA2 truck cam is there, and truck audio is here. It's going to be the A2, and wireless A2 is going to be the audio, and wireless cam is going to be the cam. So now everything's programmed into the ports. There's no more ports left. This is all the ports we had. So we'll save that. So we've got the party lines, assign the ports to the PL, and assign the ports to the IFB. Ports to the PL on the Riedel. There's our IFB. On the Clear-Com, here's our PL. The IFB in the Clear-Com, we have to make an IFB for the Clear-Com. So host, and it's going to take things from the interfaces here. So the transmitter is going to be the output. And if I go back down further here, mix minus is going to be the source, and pre-fader listen is going to be the return. Again, pre-labeling them with a period in the middle helps me get to it. Now, because of the weirdness of only having 5 characters in each send and receive, it's a 10-character name on a 4-wire port, 5 only in on the 2 split ports. So unless I have something programmed on both sides, it takes a 5-character name and puts it on both. So if I were to go back to this cards and ports here on the mix minus and call this one XXX there, I can then, if I go back here to IFBs and scroll down, one of these is XXS and MX. So it puts the whole label in both instead of putting only the red is an output. It should put the output label in there and put the input label in here. But they haven't made that adjustment in Clear-Com yet. So we've done that. We've done that for Clear-Com. We'll do a save here. And AZ edit. We've done the party lines for AZ edit, cameras and audio. Have we done the IFBs? Here's an IFB. No, we haven't. So here's the host IFB, and you name it down here in IFB section of the alphas. And I open it up, and we've got the input, which is the mix minus, and here's the mix minus there, and the output, which is the TX, and the port alpha, which is the listen. Again, they're all start with periods, so I can easily find them. So there's the host IFB. So I have my IFBs, my party lines, all done. And the last thing I have to do is basically build the panels. So if I'm here in Atom world, here's a panel. This is the director. I can either put the port number in or just type the first letter of it and it will come up. So I'm going to put in the A2, AUDO is the audio. I'm going to put the host IFB here. I'm going to put the party line here, director. This is the other channel is called AUDO, but the party line is called director and A2. That's the other party line. So here's my other party line, A2. And I'm going to, on the listen side, I'm going to call them ATs or auto tables, which is you have to put something on the listen side so it automatically connects and puts a listen going here. So here's my host. It automatically put this check mark in it, which means it's momentary. A check mark in the D line means momentary. So I have the point to my audio person, my IFB, and the A2 party line here. I could put program here, right there in the top channel. Oh, I thought it was the name program. What is the name program? Alpha. That's the problem with this. It gets very upset if you put the wrong name in here. So here down in Omni, program PGM1, I called it. Okay. So PGM1. Now, interesting enough, when this shows up on the panel, because I put it in the top row, it shows up lowercase. This is the listen side, and this is the talk side. I could put it down on the bottom. It would show up uppercase, but then I'd have to be careful where I put it because this port could be talked to. Now that wouldn't necessarily mean it would come out somewhere else, but it's only a listen channel. So I've programmed this whole panel. I can now copy this panel and I can put it in the audio panel, which is on the Arvon. Paste it in here. Now obviously they don't need audio on there. I can change this to director. So there's a director, the audio person has the host IFB to test it, and their A2 channel so they can talk. And that's pretty much it for programming this system. Those are things you can do. Next thing would be panels for the Riedel system. And let's go back to our node. and here's a director's panel. I'm going to put a reply key on it because the reply key is not a standard thing. It's standard on the Atom panel and on the Clear-Com panel, but you don't have to have a reply key. Reply is if another panel talks to you, but you don't have a button for them, you need that to reply to them. So I'm going to open up the IFB, and I'm going to pull it out of the way here. And I'm going to drag this IFB to the top row here. So now we've got an IFB there. And I'll close this here. And then I'll open this up a little bit. I'll find the program feed down here, and I'll drag it over to here. So now I have a program, and it's a latchable key, automatically made latchable. And then I want to put my party lines on here, open up the conferences. Here's my cams and my A2. And the cams, because it's the director, I want to make it latchable. So I go down to here, make it latchable. Now the cameras are latchable. And then I want to put the point-to-point for the audio person on here. So there's a point-to-point to audio and the A2 channel. So there's basically the whole programming. Now let's say I want to copy this to another panel. I can right-click, copy the panel, and just drag the audio panel into here. And they don't have expansion, so I'm going to turn this off. It'll give me a nasty error if I do that. And it's successful. And then I'll close this and I'll look at the audio panel. And it basically is the same, except it's talking to itself. So I'll erase that and put the director on there instead. And that's pretty much it. Now we can see down here on the bottom, you can show two, there's the other panel, the director panel. You can see the name right here and right above it. Every time you add a point-to-point to a panel, it automatically opens to one below. So that's pretty much the end of programming. I think we pretty much covered it all. The important thing to take away from this, I think, aside from the confusion of going from system to system to system, is that if you're doing comms, you should learn all three systems, because it's a very powerful tool. And as a comms person, you don't know what kind of system you're going to want to come into. You may have a client say, "Oh, I've got a truck with an Atom system. Oh, I've got a theater with a Clear-Com system. I'll come in and work on my Riedel system." So you pretty much have to be comfortable with all of them. Now, all of this software, the Atom software, the Clear-Com software, and the Riedel software is available to download from the manufacturers. You may have to get permission by setting up an account with them, like with Clear-Com. With Riedel. You just have to log on and set up an account, and in a day or so they approve it, and then you can download the software for the most part. And then you can experiment with it. There's only a few little things you can't do without being connected to hardware, like we're having, like FreeSpeak or HelixNet. There's not the same thing with the matrix systems. Anyway, so I think we pretty much covered it. What I was saying before is you can get this software and you can play with all three of them and do this kind of stuff without having the actual hardware connected. So definitely, if you're interested in Intercom, do that. And I understand the issue about having the hardware. It's always great to have it and actually put audio in and see if it really does what you think it's going to do. But for the most part, it is pretty obvious from the software. Kelly?
Yeah, well, I think one note I would like to bring up, Pete, is I'd like to thank CP for all the support they've been providing with especially around comms. The remote connectivity you had for RTS.
Definitely.
And obviously over the past months too. really been a great help with that. So thank you, Michael Mason and the CP team for all the different support. So
That was great.
um,
Yep.
it's time for the weekend. It's 5 o'clock somewhere, folks. Um,
I think it's always 5 o'clock.
it's always 5 o'clock.
You know, we could solve all of this time zone thing if we just stop the clock.
Well, yeah, I think that's kind of how it's felt the last 3 months. Um,
Yeah.
but so I think, well, let's just let the clock get going again. But yeah, I think, yep, Dan, it's time for copious amounts of alcohol and explosives. It's the one time a year in the US when, you know what, um, don't mix and match, but, do a match and
Yep.
go have a mix over here, right?
Yep.
But yeah,
Yep.
best wishes to everybody for a good, safe weekend. Keep doing what we know we need to do to stay safe together and stay optimistic. Yep, little sanitizer spray there from Practical Show Tech there. Um, uh, just again, stay optimistic, folks. We're gonna emerge out of this. We're gonna start doing stuff. This fall it's gonna kick up again. Stay safe. We can do both. We can work and we can be safe. This is
Well,
entirely
I
possible.
think that's key is we're going to have to find a way to do the work we do, which is a very touchy-feely kind of work, particularly in the comm business. We have to hand out belt packs and put panels out and put all this stuff that everybody else is going to be touching, and we have to find ways to do that to keep us all safe.
Yeah, we don't need to work in fear, but we need to work smart.
Yep.
Right. And, I would challenge everybody, including myself, think about your workflows and maybe even go so far as to start working up kind of what you think your step by step would be, especially around comms. Pete, you and I
Right.
have been talking about this a lot that, whether it's headsets, whether it's belt packs, the challenge always on site is muscle memory and how we've always done things. And we'll put a little thought into it. And I'd encourage everybody just keep thinking about
Yep.
those when they go back, and they
Yep.
will, and we will. So um, there
One
we
last
go.
question. Dan Newborn asked,
Yeah.
can the Omnio card take AS67? No, it's all just Dante.
Yeah, that there is an AES 67 option. I was just on their site. I wish I had a better direct answer for everybody on exactly how that AES 67 connection occurs in the RTS. I've not done that, but I know that is entirely doable.
Yeah.
No doubt about it. So nice job, Pete. That was you did a really great job pulling this one together, getting that organized. And as always, if folks have questions, reach out. info@practicalshow.tech. You can get
Cool.
a hold of us, and we'll be looking forward to next week. We should talk about that just real fast. July 7, Rad is coming on. We're reviewing again, kind of the system, but really the lead story there is the transition is wrapping up um, for the upper portion of the 600 meg spectrum. And James and team are going to be talking about that quite a bit. So, even if you're not,
Basically, the end of the period when everything has to be done and everybody has to be moved, and all of different uh, TV stations have found their new locations, and our RF life has been totally destroyed.
with new opportunities.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh,
there's that too. There's that too.
Yeah, so tune in for that. Go ahead and register because this will be, obviously we will be having an intercom wireless PL discussion around VHF, UHF hybrid systems and all the other stuff we've
Yep,
done
yep,
before.
yep.
But that I think will consume a bit of our time, and I think it's going to be really insightful because that's what James and Henry. I think Ike is coming in for that one, and then Richard Stockton as well. So. Yeah, I'm sure we'll have a fair amount of conversation. So Until that day, have a great weekend, everybody. So long.